everybody, welcome back to Guild Chat. I'm your host Ruby. Colin and Mike are back with us. Thank you guys very much. And Anthony, one of our live stream partners, has joined us, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we've been talking to a lot of players who have been gone from Guild Wars 2 for a little while, but they've been hearing the buzz about Heart of Thorns and are excited to come back. We don't want you guys to get overwhelmed and just, I have no idea what's going on. Everything is different. I'm out. So we're going to kind of help you guys get caught up today. Let's start with, I want to start with the big thing. We have had over 40 major content updates since launch. So depending on how long you've been out of the game, there is a lot more stuff to see. Colin, do you want to fill us in on that some?
Yeah, we can just shoot down the line and everybody can pick something. Or I can do all 40 for the next half an hour.
Go.
I have them memorized.
No, you have 2 minutes.
The first update was Halloween. Within that update, we introduced 17 new skins. There was 3. Okay, so
I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to do it.
Yeah, I want to know if he actually knows all 40.
I feel like I want a whole other segment for this.
You know what I mean?
I was not on the game show. That was earlier. I think questions like that was the only place that could happen.
Fine. You can give us high level then.
Okay, so we've done a lot. I think very early on we experimented a lot with a lot of live events that changed the face of the game. So things like we opened a new map called South Sun Cove after a bunch of little Karka guys who are kind of face eater, head eater, little guys and giant creatures took over and invaded our capital city. And then you went back and charged in and attacked where they came from in South Sun Cove. And you got to discover this entire new map of content. So that's been added to the game. If you haven't been back since right after we launched. You want to talk a little bit about some of the holiday updates that came around then too?
Yeah, so with Winter's Day, we brought back one of Tyria's old festivities from Guild Wars 1 and really kind of brought it to modernize it into the Guild Wars 2 kind of franchise.
And Halloween was our very first festival.
Yes, Halloween was our first one that we brought back as well. And both of them, we introduced new jumping puzzles. With Halloween, we introduced a kind of a new mini dungeon for players to experience as well. And as festive as these have been, the jumping puzzles, we added a little bit more challenge to them, which may be a little frustrating for...
It's cute how you say a little bit. Have you been around for Halloween?
I haven't.
Okay, you need to try the Mad King's jumping puzzle if you ever
get the clock tower.
The clock tower?
It's good.
Put aside many hours of your life and prepare for ultimate frustration.
Because there's jumping puzzles now that take up hours of my life.
This one is like it rotates and like there's like a poison mist that's following behind you rising up, so you have only a certain amount of time to actually make it up.
It's a huge clockwise thing going all the way up to the tower, and pieces appear and disappear. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing.
And that'll be back in 4 weeks.
That is coming back with Halloween.
The day that Heart of Thorns goes live, we'll also be launching our Halloween update.
Oh, cool.
And then Winter's Day for Christmas is coming just shortly after that.
Yay.
So people who haven't been around for our holidays, awesome opportunity to come in and check those out as well.
In between those two holidays, the first year we also launched the Fractals of the Mist, which is kind of our new repeatable dungeon that has, it's about 15, 20-minute segments that then launch you into a new time and space within like Tyrian lore, and just gives you a new kind of flavor and a little bit of randomness each time you kind of go through it.
Yeah, Fractals are a lot of fun. We're going to be revamping those with Heart of Thorns. We can talk a little bit more about that later. I won't put you under too much pressure. So we had a lot of quality of life updates that we added just to help clear out your inventory, like with the wallet. Get all of that out of the way.
Man, there was a ton of feature work over the last few years.
So much.
The wallet, definitely a place where you can store all your currencies. I think one of my favorites, a lot of people from very early in the game had a lot of moments where we'd get a ton of players on screen, and the more players that showed up, everybody would disappear. And we call that basically our culling system, so that you could see what was going on all the time. And we had Habib, who is one of our amazing programmers at the time, took on this project of removing culling from the game entirely. And so shortly, I want to say maybe 6 months, 9 months after we launched, that went live, and now you can see, you can go to World versus World, and you can literally see every player in a giant battle with 100 players. If you go out in the open world and you fight against one of our huge bosses, you can actually see everybody in the world now, and that was a huge difference for the game.
It was enormous. If you survived the Great Karka event of 2012, You know.
Yeah, there were giant invisible bosses that were rolling over everyone and killing them because culling would make it so you couldn't see them. So that was an interesting early experience for live content for us, and obviously fixing that culling system has been a big addition for Guild Wars 2.
It felt so good. It was
one of the other major things that kind of went with that is that we were looking over the past couple of years in terms of player styles and watching kind of what the players were doing, and that's where we kind of came up with like the mega server technology, which was as servers became less and less populated, like the individual maps, we will actually condense them down so that players will have more opportunities to find others who are trying to accomplish the same tasks, the same events, and then it'll also make it so that there's always someone around when one of those big bosses shows up that you can actually get enough people to defeat them.
Yeah, taking the LFG system out of beta was amazing. That was really good.
Yeah, we have a real looking for group tool now. Those who remember the early days, right when Guild Wars 2 launched, a bunch of our fans actually built a website that you would use for LFG, and you would go to the website, you would type your name in, and you could use that to sort and find people to play with, and then you'd have to go in game and track them down. So we implemented an in-game looking for group system that you can use to find players to play with in PvP, in World versus World, in the open world, to do dungeons together, and that's a huge quality of life update for the game as well.
Yeah. We added the World Boss reward system too, and speaking of LFG, I find friends for that quite a lot. So that was one that I really like, because that's when we also introduced the Bouncy Chest, which is the most incredibly gratifying thing.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I didn't realize, because it had been a while before, since I played it the first time. And I didn't realize that wasn't there before, and now that it's pointed out, like that thing is so rewarding. Yeah. Like it's just like, please open. Like I'm down here. Like this is so cool,
right?
And it's a great addition.
Do you find your OCD about it? Like if you see it out of the corner of your eye, like I have to get that thing.
I can't stand it.
So I don't, and it's funny because my stream will, right? They'll you'll just see the chat being like chest, open. And I don't. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll open the chest. Like relax, guys. But
never have a Bouncy Chest on live stream that you haven't opened. They will freak out.
And I kind of almost like it down there. It's like kind of fun and jubilant. It's dancing around, it's kind of a cool thing. But oh man, they will lose it on me.
So, Anthony said something. He and I were talking about this before we went live. A lot of these things we've just started taking for granted because they're there now. And when we were talking about, what do we need to catch people up on, I'm realizing these things weren't always here. How did we get by before these were? How did I get by without having the Bouncy Chest open? Because I want more loot.
Yeah, the looking for group or the camera changes.
The camera changes.
Yeah, that was a really cool one. But I think that it sort of shows how good the updates have been, because if you can come back from a year and not necessarily notice that these things are changed, I think that shows that they've been good changes, right? It's better than coming back and not knowing what you're doing. Like, this is what is happening, I don't know where I am. Instead, they're just these subtle changes that have just made the game that much better.
And a lot of this comes from kind of our iteration strategy, right? Like we released the game, we put it out there, when we as we're playing it are discovering, hey, look, this can be a little bit better. We can take this up, one more notch. And so we'll have those internal discussions in terms of like, hey, we're listening to the fans and seeing these are the things that they want to see into the game. These are the concerns that they have, and find ways that we can actually integrate that with the strategy of our release cadence.
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges that any of these big online worlds face. I'm losing my voice here. Sorry. Is you walk away from a year or two after playing them, and they change so much that you come back and you don't even recognize the game. You walk in, you don't know what your character is, you don't know what's going on, and you basically almost have to start over with a new character to wrap your head around what the game is. And I think we've done a really nice job of trying to make it so it is, like you said, Anthony. You walk in and a lot of it. The game is more fun, but you don't really have to realize why. You don't have to wrap your head around all the things that have changed to understand what to do. There's a couple things that we've done. I think the trait system, and the major changes to the trait system is one that there's a little bit of going back and picking through to understand how that works. But I think it's much simpler now as well. We should talk about what that is.
It looks a lot different. It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah. Your traits really now, cool. Basically, you pick 3 trait lines that you have have active, and you just get the whole trait line. You used to have to go in and spend points in different lines, and you would get a certain chunk of the abilities. It really simplifies the process. If you're an elementalist, you can just say, I want to trait myself for fire, water, and earth. Cool, I know what that means.
And you no longer have to worry about like, oh, fire means I'm getting additional power or condition damage or things like that. All those stats have been removed and put back on the armor where they belong.
Yeah, it's really, build making has been simplified since back when the game launched. And I think as a result, we actually have the ability to make more robust builds, and we can balance the game better. And it's much easier to make a cool build and to tell your friend what your build is too. Like I remember you used to have to say, I'm 2, 3, 5, 1.
Like 6, 6, 0, 2, 0.
I remember, you watch the PvP tournaments from back when we had that trait system, and they shoot down the numbers like 2, 2, 6. Okay, and this is 6, 2, 2. Like, what does that mean? It means nothing. No one watching that can wrap their head around that. But if they say, yeah, you're fire, earth, and air, I'm like, okay, cool. I get what that means, and that means you can share builds, you can talk with other players and communicate about builds in a much more meaningful way than you used to be able to in early Guild Wars 2.
And I think the thing that you hit on also is like it makes it so skill selection and trait selection becomes much more important, and that seems to be, or it is one of our driving forces moving forward. Like how we approach raids, how we approach difficult content, how with the Fractal revamp, we're increasing the cap from 50 to 100, and we're adding that difficulty in there, and making it so that your choices are meaningful and actually are going to impact the way you play the game.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of what we've done so far. There is a quality of life update that we did not mention that I'm kind of loving. If any of you guys are hardcore crafters and I don't know, we did an amazing update to the crafting UI. Before it was, I don't want to just say it was terrible. It was just a little harder to navigate.
Ruby just put it out there. Someone needs to drop a mic today.
I'm super, where's Ireneo? I don't know where he went, but yeah, we'll just pretend he did. I'm just super spoiled now because before, you had all of these crafting components that you needed to put together, and if I didn't have something completed, I had to sit there and go through the list. Like,
and find which one it was.
Yeah, I had to go through and find it. And
now there's a little magnifying glass.
There's the magnifying glass.
Here's what that thing takes.
So much work on this.
Yeah, anything you want to craft now, it just lists the ingredients, and every ingredient, there's a little drill down box, a little magnifying glass you can click, and it actually tells you all the things you need to do to make that ingredient. And we didn't used to have that.
Yeah.
You used to just say 4 ingredients, and you had no idea what it took to get those. And it was kind of like the old days of the 80s in RPGs, where you had a piece of paper next to your desk, and you would write down on it everything you needed to do in the role-playing game because the game didn't tell you anything. Our crafting system was very similar to that. I remember spending hours. We make the game, and I spent hours on the wiki looking up, okay, how do I make this cooking recipe? All right.
Yeah, and now you can just drill down in there and you can craft it right in that window where you open it up. So that was absolutely one of my favorites. Credit to our UI team, seriously.
Another one I think that goes under the radar a lot, and this is a relatively recent addition that Mike helped work on. Good job, Mike. Is the daily login reward system.
Yes.
And the revamp to the way that the daily achievement system works entirely. We now have every day you log in, you get rewards. And there's an entire schedule showing the cool rewards you get for logging in. And I think it provides just a really nice, warm reward hug every day when you log in. Like, welcome back, we love you, and here's some fun stuff for you.
Why did we call it nice warm reward hug? I feel like we missed out there.
Yeah, we missed a branding opportunity for sure. But there's just something about that. I think we see a lot of people say I log in every day, I get my login reward, and I go play my daily. And we know for a lot of players they're looking for more than that, and that's why we built this expansion.
Right.
But it does give you a key thing every day that every day when I log in, I know what I'm going to start doing, and then you end up starting to do that stuff, and you get sucked off in playing other content. I generally like to do my World versus World daily first because I find it's the one where an hour or two later I look around and realize that it's midnight and I should have gone to bed. But
oh gosh, I have to work early.
I have a feeling that system really it opens up that for all our players of you log in, you get your cool reward, and now here's this list of fun daily stuff you can go do to get another great set of rewards. And they're actually really fun things to do that get you into game modes you didn't play otherwise. They encourage you, if you're a PvE player, it actually gives you rewards for going to play PvP and play World versus World. And you know, we have 3 major game modes in Guild Wars 2. It's awesome to get a chance to go play the other ones and be rewarded for it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how we implemented that. Just the login rewards as well. You and I had talked about that before it went live. Even if you miss a day, because real life interferes. I mean, we all have that. It all happens. And if you miss a day, it doesn't reset. You're not missing out. You're still it keeps progressing.
So there's one other thing that's coming with Heart of Thorns. It's not out yet that I'm super excited about. And Lester, the guy who I worked on with the daily login system, actually supports now the technology for us to actually make it so on the achievements, the ones that are like, go collect 30 script coins or go find all the diving goggles, it now actually breaks down, like, and we can actually have individual ones marked in your achievement panel so you know specifically which ones that you have or have not seen.
Oh, wow.
So there's now a conversation being had, oh, I'm 50 out of 51. Which one are you missing? Oh, it looks like I'm missing, you know, number 52. Let's actually know where that is.
I didn't know this. Are you serious?
This is going with Heart of Thorns.
With Hot Launch? So I can finally find that last coin in Drytop?
Yes.
This is awesome.
I don't need anything else. I did not know this. I am
that's one of those
incredibly
little
happy
things
right now.
you just don't realize, and then once it's in, they're like, yeah, there's no way the game could have worked without this, you know?
Yeah, well, I seriously am like, I'm short 1 coin for an achievement, and it's been 5 months that I can't find it because I don't want to go look for every single one. And I know you guys know what I mean.
Yes. So I kind of want to change this up a little bit. I'm kind of wondering, Anthony, like, do you have any recommendations for players who have like been lapsed for a while that are now coming back to the game? Are there things that you would recommend? Hey, go check this out because this is exciting, and this is the thing that kind of brings you back to the game.
Well, so. I mean, for me, I'm a huge PvE guy. Like, I love the world that's been created. So, for anybody that's coming back to the game, I say just dig in. Like, pay attention, listen to the story, go do some vistas, explore, and just have fun. The game does a really good job, I mentioned it briefly earlier, of just sort of being updated without you really realizing it. I had no problem coming back into the game. So I don't really know if, I guess I have like a strong recommendation, like make sure you go here and make sure you go here, or you're going to be lost, because you won't be. You'll feel welcome, and it's all laid out in front of you, which I love. The reason I find myself constantly coming back to Guild Wars 2 is because of the art and how beautiful the game is. And as long as you guys like keep that up, I'm stuck. I'm hooked. Like even the specializations and like the new trait system and stuff, I found myself just exploring that because of how good it looked. You know, like I wanted to see all the new animations and little pop-ups and stuff that you guys have created, just because it's so beautiful. So yeah, if you're new to the game, you're coming back to it, or if you haven't played it in a while and you want a reason to, it's just good to look at. Like it's just good to become part of that world.
Yeah, just running around and exploring is fun in and of itself.
That's all I do. I was telling my wife was driving to the airport, and we were talking about, like, oh, I got to talk about Guild Wars, and I want to make sure, you know, I'm not going to fumble around and this and this and this.
You can.
And she's like, well, what are you doing it? And I'm like, well, honestly, 50% of the time I'm dancing, like on some viewpoint, right? Like for whatever reason, my guild and I are dancing on some viewpoint, and the other 50% of the time I'm taking a screenshot of something, because it's just like every time I turn around there's something else that's just gorgeous and I have to take a screenshot.
And
that's what I love about it. Yep, exactly.
I think there's you know, that a lot of people who played very early on and stopped playing right around after when GW2 released. One of the most common comments I've heard from talking to them about the game was, well, there wasn't a quest system that led me around, so I didn't really know what to do in the game. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't really get it. And I think the biggest piece of advice I would say to any returning player, to just go exactly off what you're saying, Anthony, is this is a game about just going out and having a great time and enjoying yourself. It's about immersing yourself in the world, exploring and finding amazing things. We try really hard to hide little details all over the place in the world. Everything from the hidden jumping puzzles and dungeons to the lady at a bear picnic and little kids hanging off of trees and playing in hidden areas and maps. There's so many tiny little details that are hidden all over this world for you to discover. And I think that's the greatest joy about PvE and Guild Wars 2, is truly just taking your time, relaxing, and getting out and enjoying the world. And it's not this race to level 80. And I think as soon as people can unwrap their head around that concept of an RPG as a race to get to max level, and instead in Guild Wars 2, it's an RPG about enjoying the world, then you truly get what Guild Wars 2 is all about, and you can enjoy the game that much more.
Yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
Right, exactly.
That's right.
And that's exactly what Guild Wars is to me. Every time I play it, it's just, I'm in no hurry. And people are bashing me for not being 80, and I've constantly starting new characters, and it's just this whole thing that the stream makes fun of me for, but I'm in no hurry to get to 80, because it just every second I'm in that world, it's just I'm finding something new, it's something else exciting.
Yeah. Something that I do that just plays off what you were saying, when I log in and I just don't really have a clear idea of what I want to do, I have, about 6 months ago, I started just picking a map at random, plop my character down in it, and start running in a random direction.
There you go.
And for a while, just for fun, I was kind of timing it. I have not gotten past 90 seconds without finding something, I mean a dynamic event, something going on, players doing something, and just jump in. But just looking for something at random has been so much fun because I always find something.
Yeah, and I'm a little OCD about it. Like I'm like, oh, not OCD, I'm more ADD about it, I suppose is the right thing. And I'm just like oh, there's a butterfly. Like, oh, there's a fish over there. Like, what's this lake? Oh, what's this over here? And it's just like I can never focus on one thing in Guild Wars 2. I'm constantly running around finding something else that I'm like enthralled with for whatever reason.
Spoiled for choice is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not. That's for sure.
So, well, we have about a little over 10 minutes left, and there are 2 more game modes that I want to get into because we have done so much with PvP on the PvP side. I mean, we start with spectator mode.
Yeah, spectator mode. You know, when we first launched, there was no ability to watch other people play the game, and so the addition of spectator mode has been huge for that. Spectator mode and custom arenas, both kind of went hand in hand. They came around the same time. Custom arenas basically allows you to own your own arena, set your own rules for PvP, and in particular, it means that you can host your own competitions between guilds. You can practice, and with spectator mode, you can watch people doing it. And the addition of these 2 features really gave rise to the beginning of the competitive Guild Wars 2 scene. And that's been a really awesome, you know, that's not really a feature update. That's a community-driven initiative that has turned into something much, much bigger now, many years later. I'm losing my voice. Mike, do you want to take this one for a second?
Yeah, I mean,
we need to get you some water.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we now have, I mean, this last year we did 3 WTS World Tournament Series championship events, 1 in Beijing, 1 in Cologne, and then 1 in Boston.
Can you give a quick rundown of the WTS and what it is?
Basically, we kind of had region-based tournaments that players would go and compete against each other to earn the right to represent that region at these tournaments. So there's always 2 teams from the host nation, and then 1 from the other 2. So like when it was in Beijing, there were 2 China teams, 1 North American team, and 1 European team. And it was basically these 4 teams duking it out at the top level for a huge cash prize, and basically the right to say for the next X number of months they're the world champions. The last one we had in Cologne, we had the North American team come back and win up the top and take the mantle back from the European team. So like there's actually kind of some bragging rights that are associated with this. We've also got partnerships with ESL and a couple other fan groups that are hosting either monthly or even weekly tournaments that just get people back into this and really kind of shaking up the competitive scene and really giving meaningful concept to that term esports when it is applied to Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, most days of the week there is some kind of competitive tournament going on, and almost all of them are broadcast live on Twitch, so you can actually watch. We have a huge group of competitive streamers and influencers who are hosting these events. They can help teach you the game better, and you can watch these pro players compete in all these different tournaments. Everything from 1v1 tournaments, 2v2, to kind of the top tier every Sunday is the ESL 5v5 Go For Cups, which is where the best teams traditionally play and eventually qualify for larger tournaments. And after the expansion ships, we're going to be taking it to even another level that we will talk about more once we get to that point.
Kind of to reiterate some of the things we've said in previous casts as well, is like PvP, it's even playing field. So just having access to the game, access to the client, lets you play have equal footing with everybody else, and it just becomes a matter of skill. It's not about who has better armor because everyone's fighting at the same tier. And something we did a couple weeks ago was actually putting the game for free, which now means that it's even easier to get into that PvP scene. And so we're seeing numbers in terms of players actually coming in and trying PvP and trying to compete for these top prizes is going through the roof for us. So it's really exciting time.
You know, there's for fans of PvE in particular, I think there's been 2 major changes to PvP in the last year that have had a huge impact on expanding the PvP base and making it more approachable for everybody. So one of those is the addition of reward tracks, which is the new reward system. It used to be in PvP, we had a pretty obtuse reward system. We'll use that word to politely push it aside. But now we have this awesome reward track system where you actually select the rewards that you want to be playing towards, and as you're progressing to them, you're constantly getting reward chests of creatures that live in the world, from bosses in the world, from champions in the world. You basically get these little reward chests as you progress through and play PvP. And we also normalized the gear system between PvE and PvP. So we used to have, back when the game first launched, there was PvP gear and there was PvE gear, and they were completely separate. They had their own unlock systems, the new
and
skin
builds.
and different builds. The skin wardrobe for PvP was a place where you could unlock skins just for PvP, but not for the rest of the game. We've added a brand new wardrobe to the game that allows you basically to save all of your skins, and everything that you unlock in PvP you can carry over and use in PvE, or from PvE into PvP. You can even earn gold now playing PvP, which is a huge difference to when the game launched. So your time spent in PvP is really rewarding now, and you earn items and you earn gold that you can use on your characters, that you can take out into PvE or take out into World versus World as well.
Yeah, it's really rewarding. I'm like Anthony as a primary PvE player. I started dipping my toes in the PvP waters a little over a year ago, and I'm never going to be up there in the ranks. You know, I'm super casual, but I'm just having a good time with it. I started keeping a custom arena about a year ago so I could have my own little private place to screw up, and seriously, just you know, try this, try that, find out what does and doesn't work for me, and it's. That plus the addition of reward tracks has made it a lot more fun for me as a PvE player to be a part of this.
So I didn't know about the custom arenas.
Oh, they're great.
So like, for example, if I'm playing PvP and I've got a chat troll that's ripping on me, I can 1v1 him.
Yep.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
I might need to put some off-stream time into this and like kind of hide my skills, bait a few people, and then show them what's up.
Start hustling people.
Yeah,
I see nothing wrong with this.
I'm gonna have to start hustling people.
Throwing real cash battles at Twitch chat.
Yeah, yeah, this is gonna happen. Get ready for this.
Well, with the expansion too, you're gonna be able to build a guild hall, and you can actually build an arena in your guild hall that you can go in and host duels like that as well. And you can actually decorate and customize your arena, and you can put up walls, you can put down turrets. The arena is crazy, and you can invite all your Twitch followers into your arena, and every day you can redecorate the whole thing, change it, and fight again and there against them. You can separate them into different teams, and you can all fight against each other on different teams.
Really?
It's really cool, and that's just one little piece of functionality for guild halls.
I'm trying to like listen to you, and I'm watching his wheels turn.
Yeah, I'm just like,
and it's amazing.
Well, I'm hearing this redecorate word, right? And that's like, so I was saying earlier, 50% of the time I'm dancing, 50% of the time I'm screenshotting, and the other 50% of the time I'm changing the color of my armor, right? I'm like,
let's ignore the math component of this.
Yes, yeah, it's the third 50% of this, and you said that the redecorate, and I'm just like, oh, that's it, it's over.
Yeah, guild halls are trouble. You can when you start getting into decorating in guild halls, and we're actually show off a lot of cool stuff about guild halls very soon, and go into more details on this. But yeah, you can do some crazy things with decorating your guild hall. There goes another 150% of your life when that comes out, I guarantee you.
You're going to love it, and you're going to thank us for stealing all of your time.
Yeah, not now, honey.
A lot of these decorations are going to come. A lot of the decorations.
I have to turn this chair and get it just right. Hold on.
Yeah, and then ow is the next thing you're going to say.
Yeah.
But a lot of the decorations are going to come from just playing the game, like whether it's in PvP, whether it's PvE, like overcoming various challenges within the game. You're going to get something that's going to unlock that you're going to be able to kind of show off that your guild has been able to accomplish these cool things.
Yeah, as Crystal showed earlier, you can get decorations for killing raid bosses, and then you can show off in your guild hall the raids that you've beaten.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
So great. I want to add like a dancing statue now. We can call it the Anthony.
Oh, that would be a dream. I would lose it. You just see me crying. I just do a crying stream. It's just like my life would be complete.
We've got the crying live streams covered with Aurora Peachy, but I love you, Peachy. She's like, yeah, thanks, man. That's
Right.
great. So let's talk about World versus World real quick as we wrap up, because we added Edge of the Mist to that.
Yep.
Yep. There's a new map now. One of the biggest problems that we ran into early on, in particular right after the expansion ship with World versus World.
The original game, not the expansion. Hasn't come out yet.
Excuse me. Yes.
October 23rd.
Right after the expansion shipped 4 weeks from now.
Colin's from the future.
Time has lost all meaning when you're trying to ship a game.
Seriously, this is super true.
So right after GW2 shipped, we had huge queues in a lot of the maps, and still today, even in prime time in a lot of our worlds, there's queues to get in. And so we created Edge of the Mist as a fun place for you to go play World versus World until your queues have been cleared, and you can jump in and actually play in the maps that your world is fighting on. So that's one big addition now, is you can always play World versus World no matter what. Even if all the worlds are full, you can jump into Edge of the Mist and play there. Another big thing that we added is the World versus World ability system, which is basically an entire endgame system of abilities for you to unlock for your World versus World characters, and they apply to all the characters on your account. That you can get these points and then buy abilities for them. Everything from being able to be better at using battering rams to being able to fight guards better in World versus World. There's abilities for all the different siege lines. With that came a reward system as well. So now when you get these World versus World ability points, those little bouncy chests that we all love pop up, and they have a lot of really nice rewards in them to help make World versus World more rewarding as well.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of the huge additions. I think the most impactful change for World versus World by far, though, was removing culling that we talked about earlier.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You used to have to fight invisible armies of players who would come charging at you, and you could see the people in the front, but you never knew exactly how big the army was because you couldn't see anyone behind it. They were all cold out. Now when 100 people are fighting in a giant mosh pit, you actually can see all of them. It's pretty epic and amazing.
It's inadvertent stealth, and nobody liked it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll tell you what, as we wrap up, we are not even, so this is a pretty good coverage of what we've done in the past couple of years with Heart of Thorns. Darn it.
We didn't even talk about Living World. This was like 6 of 40
there's so
updates,
much.
I believe. So,
Yeah, and we are not even done. Heart of Thorns is coming. Colin has apparently been there, and it's
amazing.
pretty great. I mean, we've got the Fractals revamp coming, PvP leagues, Stronghold, which you can play right now.
Yep, and also during next weekend's beta weekend.
And next weekend's beta weekend, we've got those open for testing.
Raids with the first boss coming next week too.
Raids, guild halls,
thank you.
the elite specializations that we've been showing you, the legendary journey. You know what? We should totally talk about that later today on stream.
That's a good idea. Let's do
I
that.
have good ideas. I have amazing ideas. So we have a lot of stuff coming. The core game Guild Wars 2 is free to play right now. You need to come in and spend some time with us and enjoy the game, and we'll see you in Heart of Thorns.
And you get to hang glide in the jungle. Oh man, is that something
You know
else?
what?
is awesome.
We should talk about that later today too.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. All right. Thank you guys for spending some time with us, and we will be back in a little bit. Bye-bye. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
the
much,
water,
Anthony.
Twitch.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, dude.